In July of 2024, a man named as Joaquin Mbonu was arrested in Nigeria after running away from South Africa. Why? He was identified to be a drug lord who was part of a major drug cartel behind the production and distribution of methamphetamines. Mbonu had escaped from South Africa, where he lived for years, and mastered the art of cooking methamphetamine after he came under investigation for drug dealings.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Amagana Observer. An article I found online talks about or reports about how Mbonu was captured in Nigeria after he escaped from South Africa. freedomonline.com dated July 9th, 2024, with the title, Wanted Drug Baron in South Africa Arrested in Nigeria, reports, a major drug cartel behind the production and distribution of deadly psychoactive substance methamphetamine, popularly known or called Impuru Miri, has been taken down by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency following the arrest of the leader of the syndicate, 42-year-old Joaquin Chikodi Mbonu, and his associate, 34-year-old Kenneth Chibuke Ofobu, in Mbonu's mansion in his village, Ikeduru local government area of Omo State. The cartel, with operational bases in Imo and River states, became a target of the agency following intelligence indicating it is responsible for the distribution of substantial quantities of methamphetamines in Southeast, South, and other parts of the country. After weeks of surveillance, officers of a special operations unit of the agency on Friday, 5th July 2024, tracked and traced the drug lord to his village mansion in Imo State. And here I'm going to paraphrase because I don't want to mention the DRUG's makeup. Exhibits recovered included concoctions to make DRUGS, 2 electronic weighing scales, and pump-action GUN with 4 cartridges. The operatives moved swiftly to another of Mbonu's hideouts located at 11 Redemption Avenue, Port Harcourt, River State, where they recovered additional exhibits. Another raid in the home of one of Mbonu's associates, Odomenam Pedro Chinedu, currently at large, so he ran off, vanished into thin air, led to the recovery of more exhibits. While Kingpin Mbonu cools his heels in custody, 2 of his mansions in Imo State have been marked for possible forfeiture to the federal government. After escaping from South Africa, he continued the criminal trade by setting up clandestine laboratories in remote villages. I'm going to repeat that again. Remote villages. To shield his nefarious activities. And that is the end of the article. So thanks to the Nigerian National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for getting this menace off the streets. Because these are the types that will come to one's country and tell them you lazy, you envious, we are the smartest, we are the most hardworking, you all lazy, you are envious, you jealous.
South Africa, known for its diverse culture and rich history, is also facing a growing challenge, one that is rooted beyond its borders. In recent years, Nigerian crime syndicates have gained a formidable foothold in the country's major cities like Johannesburg, Pretoria, Durban, and Cape Town, transforming the criminal landscape. But how did this happen? And what does it mean for the future of South Africa? The roots of Nigerian crime syndicates in South Africa can be traced back to the late 1980s and early 1990s. After the fall of apartheid in 1994, South Africa became a popular destination for Nigerians looking to leave Nigeria, with gangs soon rising to prominence on the local crime scene. All of this happened while Nigeria was facing its own challenges, that included political instability and economic downturns. As a result, many Nigerians migrated to South Africa in search of better opportunities. However, with limited economic prospects, some turned to illicit activities to survive. Firstly, they specialized in cocaine. Their portfolio later diversified. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Nigerian crime syndicates had established themselves in major South African cities, particularly in Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town. These groups became heavily involved in drug trafficking, primarily dealing in heroin and cocaine, as well as human trafficking, fraud, and money laundering. Their operations are sophisticated and often involve collaboration with local criminal networks, making them difficult for law enforcement to dismantle. Take the case of Ponty City, otherwise known as the Vodacom building that's near Hillbrow in Johannesburg. This was once a desirable and sought-after apartment building with beautiful views overlooking the city, its own mall, and even a bowling alley. But as Hillbrow became more crime-infested, people moved out, and it had become a drug-infested building where brothels ran by Nigerian pimps and addicts occupied the space. It became a place where you could buy anything from heroin to stolen guns, thanks to the new landlords who hijacked the building, which were the Nigerian mafia. The conditions in that building went from bad to worse, as people would get high, and some of them jumping from high floors straight to the ground, ending their own lives.
There was no control, and most of the buildings started to deteriorate, and the buildings started to become havens of criminals.
Nigerians, 90% bishalala bonga Nigerians. Those Nigerians, they are drugs, prostitute, yongi indonji, enzeke help.
Hillbrow was a stronghold of the Nigerian mafias for decades, and their presence can still be felt in the streets. In fact, to this day, old apartment buildings are still being hijacked by local gangs working with Nigerian mafias, and residents are made to pay ridiculous amounts of money for rent. The rise of Nigerian crime syndicates has had a profound impact on South African communities. Drug addiction rates have soared, particularly among the youth.
This is just so sad and pathetic that you go into someone's country, and yes, African countries, we have a whole lot of systems to establish so that things work for us. You go in someone's space, you take advantage of loopholes, you come and add to the criminality that already exists, putting a burden on the security there already. And when people are being vigilant and are watching what is going on, some want to gaslight. We're just there to do business. No, we have to be vigilant. We have to be observing everything going on. Because some people don't know how to behave when they enter people's space. So they have to be taught how to behave properly. It's just shameful. And here's the next one, and I'll be back to discuss.
It's like this because of one.
I have your number.
which was actually led by the chairman of the agency himself. Have here it's 1.855 tons of raw cocaine. We had some concealed or filled in these 10 buses and the others shipped in those drums. I'm sure you can see the drums over there. This is the highest singular seizure of cocaine in the history of this agency. What you have here comes to over $278 million, which in street value, if you convert that to Nigerian naira, you are talking of over 194 billion naira. And the men you find behind there, they are members of an international syndicate that the agency has been on their trail since 2018. And just lo and behold, in few days, by the grace of God, we were able to track them down to this building. This building, the man, please, I'm not talking to you. This building, it looks unoccupied, but then it's a warehouse for this international cartel. And we're glad that this has brought an end to the operation.
Yep. Another mansion with shenanigans going on in there. And when you see them, I'm a trader. I'm a businessman. I'm a salesman. We're the smartest in the world. We're the most hardworking. Why are you jealous of us? You envy us. Really? Wow. It's just mind-boggling. Again, some, not all, but something has to give. Something has to give. And so, yes, our vigilance is going to go on. Our watchfulness is going to go on. Our asking questions, expecting answers is going to go on. And no one is going to gaslight us and say, you're just imagining things. No. We've seen enough to know what goes on behind the scenes. And folks, I'm going to end it here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for helping my channel grow. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.